Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod. Welcome to Tokyo. It's about 5:20 in the morning and 45 degrees Celsius, 5.7 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know who I am or where I live, but welcome. We're gonna work out. So let me pop you on my head. We got a long run today, which should be fun. So it's gonna be dark, so just street lights, and we're fairly early, so I don't know. You might catch a sunrise on the back half of it. Let's see, but we're targeting 5 miles. That said, I got a newborn baby at home, so trying to make it as low impact as possible for Felicia. Felicia is my wife. She's great. Start the workout, go to YouTube, do the fun YouTube thing. Oh geez. We'll see how this goes today. I gotta turn on my chat. I'm a little lower. It's nothing I haven't navigated before, so I should be in shape. Angry Peanut, good luck. Hey, you're here. Thanks. Mouse, I just got on a glove. But again, if I text from the mist, I'll pull it back. We should be able to run this one, I think. Let me turn up my brightness. Makes chat a little bit easier for me. And my weak old eyes. But yeah, just striding it out. Waking up my body. We did some Supernatural and Beat Saber on VR yesterday, so feel good from that. Let's hit 2 deadlifts. We'll get started. Kick the butt back. That's 1. 2. Tuck the tailbone. Roll the shoulders back. Core engaged. And ta-da! Half marathon pace. It's like magic. Now, last week we did 8 miles, which is about like 13 kilometers, 12 or 13 kilometers. So today we just got 5 miles, which is about like 8K. So nice and easy. Well, I shouldn't say it. We've trained up to it. In the early stages of DadBod, it was incredibly challenging. And I'm sure because I use the word easy, it will not be for some reason or another. You know, and we're sore in a couple spots, a little twisted, and we definitely didn't recover perfectly from a sleep perspective, so we got that working against us. But we'll see. That's all we could do, right? Baby Akio was a rough night. Woo, thighs. Oh no. Look at that full moon. It's awesome. It's fun running so early in the morning that it's still the night. It's just very satisfying. And here we go. So, not even 3 minutes into this thing, and I'm like, why? Why the frick
are we out here running when we could be sleeping, snuggling, relaxing? I'll tell you why, friends. Consistency is to keep us from experiencing a break in consistency, because that is honestly the hardest fought aspect of progress, besides maybe the mental inertia not to start or change. But the second hardest fought thing is maintaining consistency every single day, doing the small tangible things to continue on your own personal path of progress, because there's always something in the way, right? You know, maybe some of you start a new program for something for fitness and there's some excitement, heck, maybe you actually like it, maybe it's kind of fun, but eventually you hit a rough night of sleep, or you're really busy with work or family commitments, or you just don't feel like it. And that feeling always fades. And that's when we normally see a break in consistency. And once you break your consistency, it's way harder to start. Like to restart, it's almost harder than starting for the first time, because at least at the first time, you have this hope, this mild excitement. But once you've been doing something that's challenging for a reasonable amount of time, the honeymoon period pops. And then when you have a break in your consistency, super easy to slide into the we'll do it tomorrow, or we'll do it later today, or we'll do it tonight, we'll do it in a couple days when everything gets sorted out. So, you know, this is like the third day that I've had a new baby at home. I love my new baby. His name's Akio. Took him home from the hospital. And that was super sweet. Because Felicia was in the hospital for a total of 15 days. 10 days of active labor. 4-day gap in the middle. 4 days postpartum recovery. And you know, it's pretty wonderful having the little guy at home. I almost just dropped a butt after that. I'll say and it's a little tricky taking care of them. When babies are born, their stomachs are like the size of walnuts, which means they can only have so much milk at a time, which means they need to eat regularly throughout the night while most normal humans are sleeping. It's normal. It's not the baby's fault, it's just normal. And when you have an older son that struggles with sleep anxiety, you're trying to help him understand, like, listen dude, you're not sleeping in this room tonight. Like, there's a new baby, there's no room in the bed, we don't want you on the ground on a futon because the baby's crying every 2 hours or turning on the lights all the time. Like, let's help you get over your feelings a little bit, still acknowledge them, but figure out how to think around them. and we gotta get you in bed. And then this little walnut belly baby is like fighting nursing, like fighting breastfeeding, kind of struggling with a bottle, not sleeping and eating at regular 3-hour intervals, but it's turning into like 1 hour cluster feeding. So it's like an hour mini sleep, hour mini sleep, feed, and then right as you're just about to get the baby down, your alarm goes off. That's time to get up and go run. Now, friends, sleep and recovery is super important. Like, you're not gonna progress with fitness if you don't give yourself sleep and recovery. So, especially with a newborn, I need to be careful with when I grit my teeth and work out anyway, versus when I give myself a momentary pass and truly do it later, right? There's all these different trade-offs I gotta work into. But, oh my goodness, the stairs. There are some days where I'm gonna choose to chase consistency. I'm gonna walk for a minute, get my breathing. Or even though I'm tired, even though the baby schedule wasn't optimal, you know, my sleep wasn't optimal, I'm gonna choose to lock consistency. But then I'll regulate intensity, pace, distance, so that my slightly less recovered body can still progress through it. So for the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm looking at fitness really more as a consistent check the box activity as opposed to a maximize results activity. I just don't want to backslide. So it's kind of maintain mode. Eliza, hello. Welcome to Tokyo. How are things in your world? How's your latest art project? Anything exciting? Eliza, I'm sorry, I forgot, because we've talked a couple times, so you probably answered this. I know you do art, which is awesome. I still need to see it, because I bet it's cool. Are you doing art full-time, vocationally? Like, are you getting paid for your work? Or do you do it out of passion and you're a student? Are you studying fine art? All the questions. But I hope you're doing well. So today we're supposed to do 5 miles, supposed to, in air quotes. We'll see how I feel today. Like any day, my body's not perfectly recovered, but it's definitely a little bit less recovered just because last night sleep was super sporadic. I mean, I slept an 1.5 hour chunks. Latest art project is something special. Love it. That was awesome. We got a full moon today. I know you can't see it because it's dark out, but it's lovely. All right, let's keep pressing on. Yeah, almost. The walk feels nice. Today I'm definitely gonna use the crutches where I need them, you know. I do it out of passion. I don't get paid. I do it for hobby. Oh, cool. You get paid for anything outside of art? And pay rent. I'm gonna hit 2 deadlifts. We'll see if we can get back into the throttle. There's deadlift number 1. Got a nice back crack. Squeeze the butt. Number 2, squeeze the butt, tuck the tailbone, abs in, shoulders rolled back, lean forward, and ta-da, we're running. Breathe into it. Friday, if any of you were here for that, that workout was bananas. That was a hard-hitting fartlek, which is our interval training. I don't know why, but I didn't screw around with that one. It kicked my butt. Which is wild because the day before I did legs, and then I went out and ran on wobble legs. I have never gotten paid. I do school and book club. Fun. Book club sounds great. What you reading? Got any good books? I have to read probably like 6 or 7 books in the next 2 weeks. I'm about 5 or 6 weeks behind on grad school. Yeah, because I had a baby. Navigated 15 days in the hospital, so that was a treat. Oh man, kicking my butt. Well, someday, Liza, you'll experience the joy of working to live. Just like the rest of us, your time will come. I hope you're having a nice evening. Nice and mellow. Just continuing to convince myself that I can run long distance. Because right now my body ain't so sure. I have a very long list of reasons why I should turn around right now, cut this thing short. I'm just trying to hold back that list, at least for a little while. Be like, why don't we just give it a good go, you know? Baby Akio's sleeping, Mama's sleeping, ideally the other kids are sleeping. We're still making nice time, you know? Why we gotta go to such drastic quitting measures? We can just press on. And it's like, well, because it's uncomfy, we're sore. Breathing sucks. It's a little chilly. We're tired. We kind of have to go to the bathroom. And like the list goes on. There's always more reasons to stop than to continue. So across the plethora of options, it's important to choose the right option to move on. And every day that move on choice is different. You know, for me, for a long time, that move on choice was like, I don't want back surgery. Like, I gotta keep exercising, building strength, so that I could take impact off my lower back, stop waking up in pain, stop getting epidural, basically narcotic injections in my back. Right, that was a big why. Then as I started to see progress, it was like, well, I want to have like health, vitality when I'm older. I want to be able to run around with my kids and my grandkids. I saw a lot of heavier, big family members lose mobility, and I don't want that. You know, right now, the big why for me is just trying to lock consistency in rhythm and routine, even though we got a 4th baby. Like, find a way to still fit it around the other stuff, even if the workout's not perfect, even if I'm not perfectly recovered from the prior day, just find a way to kind of integrate it loosely. Every day you kind of come in and you just need to find one nice why to keep plunking along, because there will always be a lot more why nots, or don't, maybe that's the right word, a lot more stop. There's a lot more reasons to stop that will come up. You're tired, you're hungry, you're sore, your shoe isn't laced perfectly, your ankle's a little wobbly, your kids are gonna wake up soon. There's always more things trying to stop you. And it's really important to kind of feel and process all those things, to be aware of everything, basically. Like, you can't suppress all that. And be like, well, my left shin's sore. What am I gonna do about it? Well, if I try to land with my feet a little bit more under my body, with my core a little bit taunter, I'll probably be in good shape. Right? Or you're tired. Well, don't try too hard to be awake. Just kind of just flow through it. Use the sleep to your advantage. It's okay to jog when you're a little hazy. Not too much, of course. We want to be safe. But sometimes I found that if I can lock in a pace, especially one that's not too heavy from the cardio side, a lot of times, if it's early morning, or back when I was younger, if it was like a late night run, a lot of times I could just lock and go. Even though it's uncomfy, it's like I put myself in a consensual fog. Like, let's just slightly dissociate from the experience. Alright, what do we got here? If you're in a lot of pain, maybe try to take a break from jogging. Well, of course. And if you're in a lot of pain while jogging, it's usually an indication that you need to build strength in the gym and other spaces first. Like, you should be bringing your pacing down. I'm gonna walk for a minute. Like, we're almost to 2 miles. Come on, Joe. But first of all, I would say anyone, I'm gonna use platitudes. I hate platitudes. You know what a platitude is, Eliza? It just means saying things that loosely apply to everybody, that are kind of overgeneralized, like horoscopes. Horoscopes? You know, or the zodiac, Chinese zodiac, you're the monkey, you're the dragon kind of stuff. Or like a platitude loosely applies to all people. But you know, my first platitude is like, if you're gonna train for a half marathon, especially if you've never done one before, at some point in the journey, guaranteed you will encounter pain, because there's just going to be deficiencies, whether it's in your core, your back, your hips, your legs. You're probably not going to be running long distance with optimal form in the beginning, because you have to learn what optimal form even is. You're training new muscles. And additionally, one of the challenges with a half marathon is you literally have to kind of push towards your limit and expand your limits gradually each week with the long runs. And there will be one week where, like, your body's like, I don't know. And you're like, well, we still got to get 6 miles. The trick though is to not injure yourself during that journey, and there's a lot I train people up on so that they can make it to their goal with a healthy respect for their body. How gozaimasu. So, you know, it's always a challenge. Oh, that'd be a perfect puddle to take a picture in, but it's fine. You know, if it's a lot of pain, and a lot's even relative, like, yeah, you should figure something out. Like earlier, had a little bit of sore shin. I could totally be running on that, but I was like, you know what? Let's just walk. Let's enjoy the process. Today's a process day. And I know that if I walk and jog, alternating, I average around 15-minute to 20-minute miles, which is still like a decent pace, as opposed to stop and turn it back, you know? So everyone's a little different. But you shouldn't be running or lifting through pain unless you know what you're doing, which takes experience. Like even when I recorded the DadBod half marathon program and put all that together, there were a couple runs, particularly the fartleks, which are the interval training, where I knew, I'm like, this form is suboptimal. Something's catching in a way I don't like, where it's my hip or whatever. But I had been in that position before. I had been able to run through it without injury, and I had enough residual strength in the other pockets that I knew I could push myself, experience some discomfort, but not get an injury that takes me out of the game. But then there was another day where I tried to do hamstring glute raises, where you lay on your back and lift your butt off the ground. I was trying to do them with one leg, which I had enough strength to do, but then I put a weight on it and still did the lift, even though I lost my core engagement and my spine was twisting. And then all of a sudden I couldn't run long distance for like 4 weeks because I screwed up a hamstring. Like, you can't just power through pain, especially as you get older. A lot of that kind of toxic stuff will just take you out for an extended period of time. We're almost at 2 miles, so at the white block I'll start jogging again. But it's nice. I'm just enjoying the distance today. And part of me, this I talked about, like I didn't sleep well because of baby number 4 in our life. So I was like, I'm not fully recovered from yesterday. So I got to ease my body into the journey. Our goal is to get to the base of the bridge. That would be 2.5 miles, which is just shy of like 4 kilometers. 2 deadlifts. Tuck, deadlift, tuck, tailbone, abs, shoulders rolled back, core engaged, mellow trottle. Let's see if we can get to the 2.5 mile marker. But Eliza, you're right. Like, you can't just push through pain. You know, like I kept trying to run long distance with bad form, and it kept hurting more and more. I kept trying to run, it kept hurting more and more. It's like I had to go to physical therapy and figure out what the heck was going on. I had to stop running for a little bit, learn how to engage core, learn how to fire my glutes, my hamstrings. There's a lot of things I had to work on in the gym or in physical therapy so that I could safely go the distance. Uh-oh, socks are getting wet. Gross. I'm gonna give you a quick sunrise over the city skyline while I go to the bathroom. So enjoy this view of a tree. It should be like a 30-second bio break as long as nobody steals my GoPro. Which would suck. Let's see real quick if we're good. Yeah, that's a nice shot. Alright, I'll be back in a moment, friends. So even though we don't really need this, it's gonna be more of a morale booster than anything. I'm gonna take a gooey packet. Let me pop you on my head 1 second. Hate these things. They're so good for me. And we're gonna try to walk out to the bridge. We'll turn it into a jog once we finish the gooey packet. We're not making great time, but we're getting distance. And that really is the goal of today, right? It's a long distance run. So you can add a little bit of walk to it. Today's flavor of the day is gonna be Tastefully Nude gooey packet. It's basically just pure yucky sugar. So that I can keep plunking along. Again, I'm not like truly in need of it. I could finish the workout without it, but it does kind of optimally give me some energy reserves to keep plunking along beyond where my pre-workout ended. But yeah, beautiful skyline today. Sun's coming up on the bridge. We are gonna have to throttle it back home, I think, in order to make it. All right, bottoms up, friends. Thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, nasty. Got a nice moon behind us, full moon. Or just about, I don't know the lunar calendar. Walking towards the sunrise. Yum, yum, yummy. Gross. Today I get to go on parental leave. Officially. It's so nice. All right. Ugh, it's disgusting. Last little bit got me. But it's so cool, these seats, these benches, people sitting out here and look at the city. And it's beautiful. First of all, it's a lovely city, especially at the sunrise. But one of the cool things they do in Japan, oops. Ship. One of the cool things they do in Japan, I almost just hit a huge puddle. That would have been devastating. Is on New Year's, you know how in the US, oh, wet socks. Oh, wet socks, gross. Not a fan of that. Skip those ads. But you know how in the US, you know, folks will have a New Year's Eve party and they'll go out, Angry Peanut Head. What the heck is a gooey packet? It's disgusting. It's technically spelled G-U. But I kind of say gooey because it's just, it's like, it's for like optimal sports performance fuel. Oh, I don't think the camera will be able to get. Mount Fuji's right over there. It's clear enough sky that I can see it. And you got full moon, Mount Fuji, Kawasaki City, fun times. And I still get to live in like central Tokyo, so it's pretty wild for me because I love running and I love the peace that water brings, and I love integration between what's built and what exists naturally. So it's kind of cool. It's a good sight. But anyway, gooey packet is disgusting. It's terrible, and it's basically like, you ever have cream cheese frosting on like a warm cinnamon roll and it's a good experience? My camera's tripping out right now. Otherwise, honestly, Tokyo looks amazing. It is amazing. Well, technically, I haven't shown you much of Tokyo unless you watched the DadBod half marathon run. Because this is Kawasaki, it's a different city. Behind me is Tokyo. Well, behind me is a tree. But if you keep going that way, it's Tokyo. So the blue bridge we run across actually separates two cities. Kawasaki, which is in a different state or prefecture called Kanagawa, which is southwest of Tokyo. And then this side, which is Tokyo. There's a whole bunch of different cities and stuff over here. But yeah, the gooey packets, Angry Peanut, typically when you're doing long distance like marathon stuff. This is a nice walk. I might just keep it a walk. You still burn calories when you walk. It's just all about what you're training for. And right now I'm training for consistency. Although I am looking at the clock. Sorry if the live's a little glitchy. At least it is on my phone. Let's start jogging. Gozaimasu. We get some ducks, birds. Man, it's almost summer. That means my runs will start to take place in the daylight again. Japan doesn't conform to daylight savings time like the US. So once you get into the winter, when that sun turns away from the northern hemisphere, my runs start dark and they end dark. And then once I get into the summer, it is virtually impossible to catch a sunrise. Like, maybe if I'm up at 4:30 is even pushing it. Like, it's just bright. But for a live streaming environment, that's great because people can actually see Japan as opposed to just listening to my breathing ASMR that you've all come to enjoy. I got a nice throttle pace, nice and mellow. Walk kind of open things up a little bit, which is good. Yeah, still plunking along, nice pace. So we should hit 2.5 miles right under the blue bridge, which is great. We could just turn it back. That'll be a clean 5-mile run or 8 kilometers by the time we're done. But friends, if anyone's new here, I'm a big man, 300 pounds. I enjoy long distance running and training for it safely. And if you'd like to run a half marathon with me, just let me know. There's a link in the bio. Just ask a couple questions in a survey. And then if you're interested, I can send you access to a beta half marathon program. It's all free besides the time and work and sweat you put into it. Whew, almost there. Let's get a couple breaths. Heart rate's climbing just because we're tired. Tired and sore. Not fully recovered. And we're gonna have to work through that safely. Mileage 2.46, 2.47, 2.48. Beautiful. 2.49 and 2.50. 2.5. Cut it back. Ta-da! DadBod. The dad half marathon day. Oh. Did you meet me on a live? Because I didn't live stream the marathon. I recorded it after the fact. Whew. It's a good workout. So 2.5 miles back. Should take us a little while. We got Mount Fuji, we got trains, all good things. Definitely a walk trottle kind of day. All right, let's get back into it and try to keep things mellow. We're over halfway, and compared to what we're capable of, it is a mellower distance. It's still a distance we have to traverse. It doesn't, it's not like any part of it's sunshine and daisies, you know. But I do know this workout's within our capability. We're not really pushing up on any limits. The residual like lactic acid and soreness, that's a factor, but we're actually running with pretty good form today. Nice contracted core. It was kind of like DadBod workout marathon day. Yeah, that was the final one. I'm not sure if that was the marathon. Yeah, I ran it with like a runner's club. It's like 4 hours or something. That was basically the conclusion of the half marathon training program. So that's the build-up. It's like each week we lift weights 3 days a week. We do 3 runs per week. Mondays are long runs. Tuesdays, recovery. 1 second. Sorry, Wednesdays are recovery. And then Fridays are fartleks or interval training. And it's 16 weeks long. Wow, look at the mountains out there. Super clear day. That's awesome. And yeah, the very last workout was that half marathon. It was cool because I ran it with like a runner's club, so it wasn't even an official race. They just ran the course together, but they ran it at my pace, and they stopped at like every Family Mart for bathroom breaks and stuff. It was a trip. But I'm so glad you found the channel through that one race, Eliza. You know, because some of those videos didn't have a ton of views, like 12 to 20. Somehow, I don't know if it's the thumbnail or what, but you clicked. And now we hang out on live every week. That's awesome. It's been fun getting to know you. That's one of the hard but fun aspects of like content creation that people don't talk about. It's like the serendipityness of connection. Like, you really never know who's gonna connect through a video you make or a live stream you create, and if or when you'll see them again. People will engage the comments like every other day that you're making stuff, and then they just disappear. And a lot of times it's not through malice intent. Their algorithm takes a left turn and then you're just invisible to them. Yeah, or people decide, oh, I'm gonna take some time off of running or off of watching, you know. By the way, so Mount Fuji over there, if you search on my page, Eliza, if you search Lake, L-A-K-E, Lake space Yamanakatko, if you search Lake Yama, Y-A-M-A, there's a half marathon that I ran at the base of Mount Fuji around this beautiful lake on a clear day. I don't narrate or anything, it's just pure running, but it's such a gorgeous run in Japan. Like, it is the most beautiful half marathon I've ever done in my whole life. It's huge struggle bus of a run. That was earlier in my training, but really cool race. All right, I got 2 miles left. I'm gonna walk for a minute. It was a lot of fun talking to you. Gotta go catch you on the next stream. Yeah, no worries, friends. See you on the next one, Eliza. So this run's going all right. Kids are waking up probably 30-45 minutes. Then I gotta get them to school, so I think actually pacing's okay. I should try to lock in a jog to get it done. I'm just am I demotivated? Is demotivated a thing? It's possible. It's hard to run and talk. All right, the white pole will go again. I think we're gonna be in the walk jog space, and again, I'm not fully recovered because of a crappy night's sleep, but the goal today is consistency, still showing up. It's not about pushing hard or progress. It's really like, this is like a defensive strategy run. It's like, let's make sure we don't backslide in our progress with the arrival of baby number 4. Yeah, let's continue to make health and wellness a priority. And there's many factors of it: how we eat, how we move, how we sleep and rest. This is a workout I'm going into where sleep and rest is suboptimal, and that happens sometimes. But I'm still choosing to make it a good move day. I'm still gonna choose to cook and eat clean today, and then really try to target a nap or 2 to reset the rest the best that I can. And we'll see where we go from there. Oh crap, I don't want wet socks. Gross. Shoot. These shoes are already getting old. I can tell. Keep plunking along. Let's see if we can get to 1.5 miles left before we enter another stretch of walk, which would be kind of this like tower thing I gotta get to. There we go. You're back! Welcome back, Eliza. We got 1 mile, only maybe 1.8 miles, so about 2.5 kilometers to go. I am a little gassed, a little tired, a little sore, but everything is in the littles, you know? It's like, don't feel perfect right now, but it's all within safe control limits. So if I pause, it's just because I'm not fully recovered, and pausing is honestly much more comfortable than what we're doing, and it's a nice day, so sometimes it's nice to pause and just look at the Mount Fuji, look at the city, enjoy the moon, you know. But I'm gonna see if I can at least get us to the 1.5 remaining mile marker. Which we're getting close to, you know. Give myself a half mile to walk and keep plunking along on our quest for 5 today. Let's go. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Vomit, I'm a sweater already. Let's go. There's a guy in our community called Dogs Spaghetti. Love it. Every time he comes in, I just drop a verse or two of Lose Yourself, and we both feel really great about it. Knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on your dog spaghetti already. Actually, there's a wonderful, uplifting, encouraging version of Lose Yourself on YouTube, or if you just search Lose Yourself, Eminem, Spaghetti, every single rhyme, they rhyme with spaghetti. That's over. 1.5 left, 3.5 in. Woo! That's great. But literally every single line of that song, they just keep rhyming spaghetti with spaghetti on top of the same backtrack. It's a majestic edit. So I think I'll walk out to the white posts up there. I'm still trying to walk with a steady pace. Good breathing, core turned on, shoulders rolled back. Trying to maintain good form. Not out here to hurt ourselves. But when you're fatigued, especially when you're not recovered like today, it's really easy to just, like, your body will enter a fight or flight mode, just like if you're attacked by a bear. Which sometimes in that, you know, is it adrenaline? Something blocks the pain sensors to your body just enough so you'll have this superhuman strength or endurance, and then as soon as you stop and all of those little adrenaline fade away back to homeostasis, you're immediately like, ow, I don't think I'm working out for 2 weeks, right? So one of the burdens of knowledge is realizing that you could run and not feel something bad happening and then be out of the game for a week or two. So especially since like my last hamstring incident, I try to be very intentional about pacing in form. Even if I'm running with poor form and I don't feel pain, I really kind of trust that, no, something's probably getting screwed up. You only got so much cartilage in your knees and back. So all right, we're gonna do 2 deadlifts at this white pole, hop back into a jog and try to get to the 1 mile marker, which is up near those cranes. Deadlift. Squeeze the butt. Deadlift. Squeeze the butt. Tuck the core and tailbone. Shoulders rolled back. Lean forward. Throttle pace. Boom. Running a half marathon. Let's go. We're so fast. We're not. we are not fast at all. We're plunking along at a 15-minute mile, okay? But it's impressive for us. And that's all that really matters. And actually, if you want to maximize like fat burn and injury prevention and all that, you want to keep it at a conversation pace. People tend to run too fast. Because if you're actually running hard and fast, sure, you can get your workout done faster. But sometimes you're actually just burning muscle. Depends on like which range you get in and what you want, how you want your body to perform, right? Everybody's got different goals. You know, a sprinter is incredibly fast and they train running all the time, but they also lift weights. You need to balance. Like, you look at Goggins. Goggins is awesome. The dude's a rail. He's cut, yeah, but he's also incredibly lean because he runs forever, but he runs fast. By the way, I have complete respect for the man, but it's like a great product of like, if you're going hard and fast on cardio and you think that you'll lose weight from that, it's not always the case. Like, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Or you look at bodybuilders and stuff, a lot of times like their cardio is more lower heart rate, sustained pace after doing a good strong lift to strip off fat without decreasing their bulk. But again, it's all about what kind of body you want to build, what kind of functions you want to be able to do. Everyone's different. Some people train for aesthetics. Some people train for overall health and well-being. There's variety. That's a good thing. Problems when Instagram funnels everything towards one ideal body and masks like what it takes to accomplish or achieve that, as well as what that body looks like during the rest of the day when lighting's not perfect and right after they had a full recovery meal, right? They're taking pictures at their most vascular. That's a cherry blossom, by the way. It's coming in. It's almost time, y'all. Blossoms be dropping. I love cherry blossom season. This road gets beautiful. Alright, so 6:25 and I still don't have a text from my wife, so I would say that's a roaring success. Somehow we helped take care of her and baby Akio last night. Took a bonus 30-minute snooze, so instead of getting out of bed at 4, got out at 4:30. We're able to have our workout clothes and our GoPro and everything set up in bags, ready to go. Popped everything on, even though I didn't want to do it. Came out here, even though we were tired and not optimally recovered. So far, we've just run 4 miles, my friend, so that's pretty neat. That's great work. And we haven't gotten a text like, oh my God, the kids are all awake. Where are you? Right? As I navigate the triple responsibility between caring for myself, caring for my wife, and caring for my children, we seem like we're in a pretty good spot. Especially because at this point, if we're just a mile out, it doesn't take me that long to run a mile, especially if I'm motivated, as well as the rest of the journey to get home is reasonable. So I could be like, hey, I'm right around the corner, and then she'll hand baby Emiko her phone so she could watch Boba or Gabby's Dollhouse or Paw Patrol. I'll finish that last mile. I'll get home super quick, pop in the door, be like, boom, who wants breakfast? Everyone's taken care of. And then this afternoon I'll crash and take a nap for optimal recovery, because you need sleep. And with a newborn, you're not gonna get it all at night. Nope. And if I don't get sleep, I won't be able to run or lift well tomorrow. So almost there. Man, the mountains look gorgeous today. Crap. Normally I don't see the pink and blue on the mountains up there. Sometimes I can catch Fuji, but normally not all that. Japan's a volcanic island. Well, it came from volcanoes. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if there's any active volcanoes in Japan anymore. There's probably still some volcanic activity. It's probably underwater though. I know there's a lot of seismic activity. That's a big word for earthquakes. Hey, does your wife ever watch live streams? No, she sees it. Together. And now it's she has, like anyone, like some body image issues and things like that, so she doesn't really feel confident on camera. So especially with fitness stuff, like I do my thing this way, she does her thing off screen, and then even some of my fitness methodologies aren't perfectly aligned to what she needs based on like clinical depression and anxiety. So she has a lot of blockers and barriers. So like watching her husband run 5 or 8 miles doesn't really help her do the incremental things she needs to. Sometimes she watches my short form content because it's snarky. But she gets enough of me during the week, you know. But she does support me, just in different ways. She watches a lot of cooking shows and competitions like MasterChef. Let's walk for a minute. A lot of MasterChef. She goes through kicks of things, different anime. She's doing like the Apothecari's Wife or something, or Diary. I haven't seen it. She had a stint where she was on tattoo competitions, RuPaul's Drag Race for a while. One of those Netflix love reality shows. Love is Blind. Until there's too many of them from too many countries. It got overwhelming. So she fills up her margin with that. I don't even think that her Gmail account is subscribed to aFamilyFrenzy. So if she watches YouTube, I don't think I show up on her feed unless something I do is toxic and viral enough that it drops by, and she's not on TikTok. Whew. So friends, we're at maybe 4.25 miles. Got about 0.75 left. Definitely fatigued, but again, everything's in safe limits. Right now I'm trying to focus on like pulling my abs in and down so I can lean forward, keep my feet landed under my body, kick back. So I'm still trying to hold like a good pace while I'm walking briskly. Well, thanks for joining me, everybody. We're almost done. Maybe 12 more minutes. I think I've seen her in a picture of yours. She's really pretty. Definitely. It's sad how people think that stuff about themselves when they're actually pretty. Oh yeah, she's gorgeous. You know, but... And it makes sense. Like, she's had 4 kids. Her body's definitely shifted and changed out from under her. She knows what she used to have and what she has, and unsure what's attainable, what health looks like. Right now she's got hypertension, high blood pressure, and diabetes from the pregnancy. So like, they're all things she's trying to get in order. So it just like, it layers on all these elements that are tricky to navigate. You know, when you're used to seeing yourself in the mirror one way, and then 10 years later, 4 kids later, life is different. I still see her as beautiful every day, but it's hard to see that in yourself. It's a work in progress where we continue to talk through it. You know, it's one of those things where, like, as a partner, I just get to kind of affirm her in her journey. You know, and also, like, you don't want to dismiss someone's feelings even if you think those feelings aren't rooted in truth, right? So it's like giving her space to process that discrepancy of where things were and where they're at, and then still help her find validation and contentment with where she is today and where she can go. Yeah, that's why they're like, in the last, I'm on day 280, okay? So like, day 0 was when we started the DadBod half marathon training program. That was 112 days. I ran that twice. Yeah, there was a half marathon before the journey, there's one after. Like, I've had the least pain I've had in years in my back and hips. And yeah, so it's like I can run farther and safer. I can run around with my kids a lot more. And again, if you're navigating all those feelings and all those perspectives on where you're at, like seeing someone, even if it's your partner, who's doing really well, for some people that can motivate people to do well. For other people, it can push them back into a pit, right? That's one of those things where she would never not want me to make progress and be well, but she also doesn't need to be in the details of that journey as she's trying to find her own journey. Gotta go now. Yeah, see, Angry Peanut Head, thanks for the support. We made it a good one. We jogged a good distance. 6:35. We're approaching our favorite stairs. I'm gonna do a deadlift really quick. And it's just one of those things you learn in relationships over time, is like, people change. And you also realize, like, your way of healing or thinking or solving problems isn't going to be the same as your partner's necessarily. Sometimes you'll have good overlap. And likely, though, if you have a fun, interesting relationship, you and your partner are different. And you have to find ways to augment your approach so that it's optimized for what they actually need, right? Like, you can't, I mean, this is a big pitfall with early relationships. Like, you can't fix your partner. And that's also assuming there's something wrong with them and not wrong with you. There's a whole bunch of layers to that sentence. But like, you can't, and even if you could fix your partner, you can't fix them as if you're fixing yourself, because you have different burdens and barriers and ways of seeing the world. So what would motivate you to lock in and snap out of it could drive them deeper into a pit, depending on where they sit within all those different mental health spaces. And it's something like you learn over time. Like, Felicia's my high school sweetheart. Like, we met in 8th grade. We've been together over 15 years, married for 10. We're 31 and 32. So we've pretty much like hit the halfway lifetime mark of being together. But in each, you know, 2 to 5 years, you know, we've learned more about one another and our unique approach and view of the world and how to work with that. 1 second, I got to text my wife. I just got the text. Perfect, I'm almost home. Thanks for letting me know. 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 Dumb voice to chat. Hell of there we go. So relationships and those learnings, they come with time. Again, it's a long-winded answer, just like that's a long stairwell of why Felicia doesn't watch my lives. We're at 4.6 miles. Almost there. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh. It's almost flower season in Japan. Now there's always like something in bloom year round, like even in the winter, which is wild to me coming from Chicago. Like, Chicago, everything dies. The finishing walk is more than enough today. I keep thinking like, oh, I should do my deadlift and lean forward, start jogging. It's like, nah, man, this is working. This is great. Still putting distance on them legs, you know. So we're almost there. We got one more stairwell. We're making excellent time. Like, it's always good when I get the Akari is awake text when I'm like this close to the finish, as opposed to like out at the bridge. When I get it out at the bridge, instead of saying almost home, it's like put on Bluey. I'm so sorry. marijuana. Alright, up the hill. Here we go. Squeeze your abs. Squeeze the butt. Drive. Finish strong. You know, so for me, whew, I have to be careful with my language. I was gonna say I like running. That's not true. Preferentially, I prefer on long distance days to be able to lock a jogging pace with consistency and complete the task. There you go. It's a much better way of not saying I like running. But if we're looking at today through the framework of injury prevention, better recovery, and actually like fat burn, even though it's not really a metric I care that much about, the walk jog is fantastic. Like heart rate's still elevated, but it's much more controlled. Like walking, I think it's 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week, like is a huge lever for like reducing preventative heart disease and stuff. Like it's incredibly powerful. Oh, beautiful. Blossoms are coming in. So like, because I have imposter syndrome and tend to put myself down or self-exclude myself from progress and other things, like it's really important for me to be able to like logically know the benefits of a walk jog just as much as the benefits of jog. Because then I can be like, hey, you know what? That was actually a really good thing we just did. And we still woke up, we still put on our shoes, we locked in consistency, and we modified pace and intensity so that we could make it the full distance and not push into any kind of pain or injury zones, because that's not what progress looks like for us today. But you know, when I head home and later in the day or tomorrow when I think about this workout, I'd be like, we suck, which is so silly. Like we're on day 280 of progress, but that's where my brain goes with all kinds of things. Or like today I'm going to try to record some short form content, edit it and post it for the first time in 5 weeks because I had a baby. But there's still going to be a part of me that's like, you suck. These videos aren't good. No one's going to watch them. You should quit YouTube and be a wage slave for the rest of your life. Even though that's not the full reason I do YouTube, but like there is a desire to have more time with family and optimize how I develop content and things like that. There's always that little slide version of Joe that comes in and he's like, you suck. It's like, no, I woke up, I put on shoes, I moved my body physically for 5 miles, got some cardio, I didn't hurt myself, I didn't slip and break my hip, I talked to cool people. But nah, none of those things. Just fixate on you suck, right? That's the secret to success. Here's our ravine that we used to run by down those stairs. Whew. It's a long drop. Some ducks. Birds are coming back to Japan. Very exciting.